they're claiming that I engaged in mortgage fraud, that I somehow decided that I was a resident of Virginia, which would be some commute every morning to the office at 28 Liberty. That somehow, I should be held to the same standard as Donald Trump, but somehow what I did was basically similar to what Donald Trump engaged in. And there's just no comparison. The allegations against me are totally baseless. And again, it was based on a 2-year investigation of his assets. And that judgment was issued by a Supreme Court justice. And there was an argument before the First Department Appellate Division, and we are awaiting a decision. I will respond to these baseless allegations at the appropriate time and in the appropriate way, but I am 100% confident that it will not result in any criminal indictment or action against me.
Welcome back, Warriors. This is me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. We got more information on New York Attorney General Letitia James. That's right. Her own tenants are crying out against her and have made formal complaints that they have had filed. Before we get into this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit all notifications so you never ever miss a video that I post. Let's get into it. So Letitia James, you know that she's the New York Attorney General that's been going after President Trump, just really making it her life's work as a rise to the top so that she can be able to say, I took down the president and no one's above the law, right? But, there's been a lot going on in the life of Letitia James. Even her tenants are calling out against her. They have filed formal complaints against her. So looking at my screen here, this is at one of her properties. And if you're looking at the top, it says New York City HPD database complaints against 296 Lafayette Avenue in Brooklyn. Okay, this is one of her properties. That's right. And it has towards going down just a little bit, the serial number, the complaint dates are both on April 16th, the complaint ID number, the unit number of the apartment, and the complaint conditions. They are complaining about the walls. And they say that the complaint detail is peeling. So the paint is literally peeling off the walls. The Department of Housing Preservation and Development was not able to gain access to inspect the conditions. If the conditions still exist and an inspection is required, please, they say, please contact the borough office with your complaint number, and it gives you other information. Key observation, 2 separate complaints filed on the same day, April 16th, 48 hours after FHFA referral, because she was referred to the Department of Justice. Both complaints are about peeling walls, one an apartment to be in the living room and another in apartment 1, entire apartment in apartment 1. So in apartment 1, the entire apartment has peeling paint. Inspectors were unable to gain access to the property. Both complaints remain open with no resolution. Okay, it's saying this right here. Both complaints remain open with no resolution. So Letitia James has got a lot going on with her. And I'm getting this information from White Collar Fraud. It says breaking tenant complaints surface just 48 hours after FHFA refers Letitia James to the Department of Justice. Okay, I showed you that document. So for years, New York Attorney General Letitia James has built a reputation as a fearless prosecutor of landlords and fraudsters, but recent events suggest that the very standards she imposes on others are being violated in her own backyard. 2 formal complaints, which I just showed you, were filed against 296 Lafayette Avenue, citing deteriorating paint conditions. Okay. And again, this was just 48 hours after the DOJ referral. And it states here timing matters. The proximity of these tenant complaints to the FHFA's criminal referral is striking. The FHFA letter is dated April 14th and addressed to U.S. Attorney General Pamela J. Bondi, outlines serious allegations against James in the letter. FHFA Director William J. Pulte states that James allegedly falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms for both her Virginia and Brooklyn properties. And I showed you a previous video. I'll link it at the end of this one. I want you guys to go check it out just in case you haven't seen that one. There are literal documents, okay, that where this fraud has taken place with Letitia James over the years for an excess of 15 years, maybe 20 years. One document, mortgage fraud, where it says that she was married to her father. And I'm like, that is creepy. And another one, she lied about the number of units. The certificate of occupancy says she has 5 units in the building. She said 4. So just recapping in case you're new to my channel. And so it's interesting how these things keep popping up with the woman who keeps talking about no one's above the law. She keeps saying that. But yet she's in more trouble. Okay, she's been referred to a U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, and now her tenants are crying out against her because of peeling paint. And in one apartment is the entire apartment, according to the complaint, and these have yet to be resolved. So this is looking not good. And it says the AG's own office may be next. Sources suggest that the unrest isn't confined to James's tenants. Discontent is reportedly growing inside her own office. Career staffers, uncomfortable with the widening scandal, are considering coming forward. So now you've got people who are considering coming forward against Letitia James. All right, so I'm going to repeat this. I just want you guys to really look at this. Let me just highlight this. The AG's own office may be next. Sources suggest that the unrest isn't confined to James's tenants. Discontent is reportedly growing inside her own office. Career staffers uncomfortable with the widening scandal are considering coming forward. Okay, some may already be in contact with law enforcement. As the case against James expands, don't be surprised if whistleblowers from inside the AG's go public. There are whistleblowers inside her office that could go public. It says they are considering coming forward. And it states or provide sealed testimony. Okay, the bigger picture is hypocrisy and evasion. Letitia James has long fashioned herself as a crusader for justice, especially when it comes to housing abuses and financial misrepresentation. But the growing stack of allegations, including the fraudulent classification of her Brooklyn property as a 4-unit when city records show that it has 5 units, the undeclared Virginia principal residence, and missing mortgage disclosures suggest a stark double standard. The FHFA referral specifically cites that James claimed her Virginia property would be her primary residence, despite being required by law to maintain New York residency as the New York State Attorney General. The letter also notes that spanning the last 2 decades, Mrs. James has consistently misrepresented the Brooklyn property as only having 4 units in various documents. Her office prosecuted Donald Trump for misstatements in real estate filings, securing a $355 million judgment. Now James faces similar allegations from multiple angles, including complaints from her own tenants that expose potential neglect of her property's maintenance obligations. And we have to stay tuned with formal tenant complaints now on record and the FHFA's criminal referral in the hands of the Department of Justice. The next few weeks could see a dramatic escalation. The HPD complaints show that 2 different units in her building reported peeling paint on the same day. What's particularly telling is that according to the official HPD record, inspectors were unable to gain access to the property. The system notes the Department of Housing, Preservation, and Development was not able to gain access to inspect the conditions. If the conditions still exist and an inspection is required, please contact the Bureau office with your complaint number. Okay? And it states here, if you're wondering whether a palace revolt is brewing inside New York State Attorney General Letitia James's office, you're not alone, as inspectors attempt to gain access to her property and federal authorities review the criminal record. This story is far from over. As I stated in my recent Newsmax interview, I will hold her personally accountable for these alleged fraudulent activities that have now drawn federal attention. This is Sam Antar. Okay, I had him in another video. I did have him in another video. We're going to pause for a moment to find out how you can better protect yourself with Augusta Precious Metals. Augusta Precious Metals is an A+ Better Business Bureau rated company. With today's tariffs, a fluctuating stock market, things are just uncertain these days. What a better way you can better protect your retirement savings that you worked so hard for than with Augusta Precious Metals. Call the number today, 800-700-1008. That is 800-700-1008. Click the link in the description box below, or you can call the number. It's free to get your information. Again, the number is 800-700-1008. Letitia James got people complaining 2 on the same day. She's been referred to the DOJ. It's been proven that she has committed fraud over 2 decades. So now her own tenants are calling out against her. So what does this mean? I told you in a previous video that definitely Letitia James could be disbarred. I read you the information. I'll link both of those videos at the end of this one if you want to go back and review. But looking at this, Letitia James would not be the New York Attorney General for long if things proceed as they should. And I repeat, if things proceed as they should. She was supposed to uphold the law in New York State, but she was not able to abide by it herself while going after a candidate who she does not like, that she wants to make a name for herself by going after President Trump. Oh yeah, you've made a name for yourself. You've proven that he's innocent. So you all tell me what you think about this. What do you think is actually going to happen to Letitia James? Will she actually be disbarred? I believe she has a high chance of being disbarred. I mean, her goose is cooked. She's done. She's got ethics complaints against her. Ethics complaints. Okay, and complaints from tenants now, a referral to the DOJ, a long history of mortgage fraud and insurance fraud. Because, you know, insurance is a certain amount depending on how many units, and she's been lying this whole time, allegedly lying. Everything in this video is allegedly. So to make her get better loan terms. So if that's the case, she's not only mortgage fraud, but insurance fraud, referral to the DOJ, tenants complaining. How long are we going to be going through this? I don't think it will be long. You guys give me your comments. Don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications so you never ever miss a video that I post. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.